Welcome to Open Invite. This episode is brought to you by North Texas Remodelings. More on that soon. Today's guest is a generational talent. She's an LSU Tiger Girl, and she just won first place at World of Dance Dallas with Team Athena just after finishing her first year in college. I'm super excited to get her perspective on things today. Please welcome my good friend, Sisi.
Hey guys.
Welcome onto the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you so much for coming. I know you're all over the place right now. I know you're stretching yourself pretty thin over this summer. What's going on?
Okay, so literally teaching classes here and there, doing intensives at studios. Thank you to my mom for that, because she's been a person who's just like, hey, like hooks and gems. But on the other hand, she's like, my daughter teaches classes here and there, so if you wanted to come let her teach. So yeah, that's how I've been getting like my opportunities here and there.
So she's been promoting you?
Mm-hmm. And then I've been getting connections through my old studios, so that also helps. Yeah.
Dang, how does it feel coming back home?
Good.
Yeah.
I missed it so much. It's so different from like Baton Rouge, because I feel like in Baton Rouge I'm in this campus world, so I don't really have a community outside of it, if that makes sense.
You're living in a bubble.
Exactly. So
Ooh.
It's like now that I'm back home, it's like I have a community come to. Not that I don't have a community there, it's just like it's my dance team and I have school, so it's like I don't really have time to branch out and like kind of do other things.
How weird is it to see kids all the time now?
What do you mean kids?
Because you're on campus all the time.
Oh, like...
You know what I'm saying? You don't see kids on campus.
That's true. I would say now that I'm home, because I live next to a high school and there's summer school going on, it's a little weird. I feel like I was just in high school, so it's like I'm older than you, but it doesn't feel like that, but it does. You know what I mean? Like,
so you don't feel like a fully adult just yet?
Not yet. I'm still a teen, so I still consider myself a baby.
Fair enough.
So yeah.
But you've been a lot more independent now that you've just totally been away from home.
For sure.
What's that been like?
Amazing. I kind of like being independent. It's like, I love my parents, but they just kept me like this all the time. So I just feel like now that I'm a little more free, I'm like, okay, like I have freedom, but like I don't know what to do with it. But I'm like, I like this because it's like I get to chill whenever I want. I get to go eat whatever I want. Like it's not like I'm.
So you had a car at university?
No, I didn't do that my first year. I'm bringing it next year though, or this coming year. Yeah.
But it was still, everything was close enough to you that you could...
Yes. Because we have a lot of like food sources on campus and stuff like that. And then we had a dining hall as well.
And did you live in a dorm hall?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you like that?
That was a little spooky just because like...
What?
Okay, so I lived at Miller Hall, which is like I wouldn't say the oldest dorm, but one of the eldest dorms. And one of a politer word would probably be like a gross dorm in the sense of how old it is. Because of how old it is, it's a communal bathroom and shower.
Yeah.
You're living with all girls, which is I prefer because...
So it's a girls' dorm hall?
Yeah. I'm like... We're living in almost what seems like a mental hospital with the walls being completely white. It's barely decorated. So it's kind of like you have to like make it homey yourself.
No character.
Right, exactly. And then at first, I think the first 5 weeks of school we had 2 working elevators. Then we're down to 1. And they never fixed the other one. Definitely an experience. Definitely toughened my skin. Living in somewhere dirty, so
damn, no shade,
but I'm like, I feel like it gives me character, you know what I mean? Like now, like I'm not afraid to live somewhere a little bit dirty, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I was a RA at the oldest dorm hall there called Bruce Hall. One of the packs that you had to do before was to vow never to leave Bruce Hall as an RA to another one for an elevator or for a private bathroom. It was very communal.
Very.
But, you know, it starts to get a little hard when somebody's like bringing their big old boombox into they're taking a shower and they're just like blasting in there and it's like 7 a.m. and it's like, hey man, there's quiet hours. Did you have any like weird experiences with like crazy stuff going on in the dorms?
I would say about like 2 things. One was that like because it's an all-girl dorm, you still see boys. Obviously. So that was a little weird. I wasn't really expecting that. And there's rules.
Yeah.
With like, you have to always like be with them at all times because they can't use our bathrooms, of course.
No boys on the loose.
Literally.
Do they have to go down to the lobby?
Yep.
Yeah.
And use the restroom. Yes.
And you have to escort them there?
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Those are some good rules to have.
It is some good rules to have.
Want...
But, like, not everyone followed them. So it was a little,
Yikes.
it's a little weird. I think another weird thing that this was a little scary because our elevator was really sensitive. We had randomly, of course, on a day that I had like 5 a.m. practice, there was a fire alarm that went off at 2 a.m. We were all pissed. We were so mad.
Everyone has to come out into the hallway.
Exactly. Not even. We all had to go outside the building.
Oh, they had to evacuate?
Yes, we all had to evacuate. We all had to. It was unnecessary. And they had us waiting out there for like 30 minutes just to find out that someone accidentally pulled the alarm.
Wow.
Yeah, that was not fun. And then, of course, everyone's trying to go back to sleep. So we're all rushing. I'm like running. I'm going to get on the elevator. I didn't think that wasn't smart to do because
Yikes.
Everyone's out of the building.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, 10 of us. I'm like, okay. 5 more get on. I'm like, okay. 3 more get on. I'm like, oh, I fear for my life just a little bit.
Are you claustrophobic?
I'm not claustrophobic to the point where like I'm claustrophobic, but I'm like, okay, I need like to breathe.
Yeah, give me 50
You know what
feet.
I mean? Our elevator doesn't even make it up. We're stuck in between the 2nd and the 3rd floor.
Oh, heck no.
So we're stuck for 30 minutes.
Did they have to open up the door?
Yes. But like we're stuck in between, so there's no like we had to climb down. So it's like a brick wall and we had to slide down under.
Yeah, no
And
thanks.
I was like, and everyone's like freaking out. And everyone's like, well, if we're freaking out, you're literally like, we're going to die because you're wasting our air. So that was not fun. Yeah. And I was, of course, in the back corner and I'm little. So like,
and at what time was this?
I want to say I got out around like 3 a.m. So around like 2:40-ish. Like we were stuck for a good like maybe 15 minutes.
And you said
20.
you had early morning practice?
That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, I'm tired. That ruined my mood.
Dang.
Literally.
And so now you're back. And your mom was telling us in the last episodes, first thing we talked about, that as soon as you got back, you went straight to practice.
Yes.
And then how long did it take you to learn the routine?
Well, I came back Hell Week. Or like maybe a few days before Hell Week.
What's that?
Consistent days of practicing for like a consecutive amount of hours. So I'd say we practiced for like 4 hours, maybe 3, but like every day. Or like a Saturday, Sunday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, and a Friday. And then we competed on Saturday.
But from the time you got back to competition day, how many days was that?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So 7 days. But I didn't learn it in 7 days. I came back in March and then I came back in April. So I learned it in those
stored
weekends.
A little bit?
Yeah, I stored a little bit. And I had like background information, if that makes sense. Like they were still creating the whole set. All together, but maybe I did learn it in like 2 weeks. Maybe
One
I did
thing
learn it
that
in
I
2
find
weeks.
super interesting is that like whatever industry you're in, you have tools to perform in that industry. When it comes to fighting and dance, it's like you have muscle memory and like that's what you're depending on.
Yes.
And I was a performer myself, right? And so I know the horror that is forgetting or like blanking out when you're in the middle of choreography.
It's the scariest thing.
Yeah.
And your mind just goes like silent. Like it's like beep. I'm like
And then you die.
literally. I'm like, oh shoot.
What do you use? Are there any special things that you kind of use to allow you to like store more and more in there?
What do you mean? Store more like in like
Choreography. Yeah.
Like at the same time, like how I'm taking it in, or like
Think of your memory as a like hard drive. Think of it as your camera roll. Right? At a certain point, you have too much in there.
Right.
And you got to get rid of some pictures. You know what I'm saying? You got to get rid of some videos. So like I assume that you have to forget some choreography in order to like store some more maybe. As soon as you hear a song, you can snap right back into it.
Yes, but it depends how long I've done it. If that makes sense. Like nationals, for example. Like the amount of times I did that choreography was a month's worth. Worth. That's muscle memory. Like that's all I know. So, but I could go and take a class and like I'd be fine, but then that just poofs away after I walk out the door. Does that make sense? So it's like I will always remember that choreography. Like I could do my nationals choreography right now. Like that's how ingrained it is in my body.
Ready? 3, 2, just kidding.
I'd be like, oh shoot.
Have you ever seen those videos where like NBA dancers will, like, one will be blinded or she can't see, and then one will be behind her, right? They're going off of the sound, the tactile sound of her hitting the floor. That's crazy impressive. It's like not only do you do it with like the rhythm of the music, you can do it with the rhythm of just like the squeaks of the shoes. Yeah. That's crazy. You do stuff like that?
We did that. I think it's on our Instagram page somewhere. But literally, I think we were doing our nationals choreography. But we, instead of foot taps or like stomping, I think we used our breath, because it's a lot of breath work on stage, and we talk a lot on stage too. So we used more of like that instead of like stomping, if that makes sense. But I could literally like maybe make out what they're doing out of 1/8 count and be like, oh, okay, I know what you're doing.
You're talking specifically about LSU Tiger Girls?
Yes.
How does it feel to be on those games?
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane to be surrounded by so many talented girls. It's like a dream come true to be in a team, like, or to be on a team. Like, it's such an honor. I can't even like I feel like I'm living my dream, but like I also step out of my body sometimes and I'm like, is this real? You know what I mean? Like, I still can't believe that like I truly get to dance with these amazing people. Yeah. So
maybe this isn't true, but this is the way that I see it. Your whole life, you've kind of been a big fish in a small pond.
Yes.
And now
I feel like
you are the small fish in the huge pond.
Yeah,
which is crazy. I was telling your mom that I don't know what it is that you guys did out there, but I was even just watching the World of Dance 2025 first place win video on YouTube. I was like, holy, like your movement has gotten so much crazier.
Really?
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you not feel it?
No, I feel like I don't really notice my growth like that.
Fair, you're in your own body. But you could see it. And like there was one move that you were doing where you were like kicking your legs, you know, in your central part.
Yes.
You know, and then like right after that, everyone's choreography changes, but your choreography is
centered like specifically for me. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I was just like, oh man, you'll get to watch this in your mom's episode, but I put that, and I might even overlay it right here. Once again, sorry, World of Dance, copyright. But I was very happy to see you dance again in a competitive sense. And I love that they put you on a lot of the promotional material for LSU. So that's what's up.
Yeah, I was like, I think for the most part, like, you see, like, the main girls, and it's like, okay, cute. Like, of course, like, they're, like, almost like the face. That's how you remember, like, oh, if you're talking about LSU Tiger Girls, I automatically think of my teammate Chuck, or, like, my teammate Butter, or my teammate Kuv. So it's like, of course, like the face of the LSU Tiger Girls. But I feel like now we're all like, I love how they just include all of us and like, especially the guys who take our pictures. Like it's everyone. It's not like the specific people. So I just love that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's up with these nicknames?
Oh my goodness.
What's your nickname?
Okay. So, well, actually, it's kind of followed me unexpectedly, because even before like I joined the team, I think one of the seniors, BB, another one of the nicknames. Yes, her name is Isabella, but we call her BB for short.
Okay.
I was just like talking to the OGs, which is like the older girls. She called me, my mom calls me this, but she calls me Titi. That kind of like, whoa, like, you don't know my mom, you don't know me. She just like
she did it independently?
Yes.
Interesting, right?
So I was like, And then also, like, I think when I was about maybe like 10 or 11, I was being called Cecilia because no one knew my actual name. Yeah. Which I'm fine, because personally I would just rather go by Sisi, but I'm like, everyone would be like, oh, Cecilia, or they'd make something up like, oh, celery, or like they just go on about like S names. So it's like I get these random S names. So that followed me. Cecilia is my nickname. I do get a lot of Caesar, so like Caesar salad.
Yeah, that's funny.
But nicknames, I think the reason why is because, you know, like sometimes you get on a team and you have like 3 teammates who have the same name, and it's like, well,
things can get confusing.
Exactly.
And it's such a big team. And so,
well, Kind of.
How many girls do you think there are?
The max is 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a huge team.
No, not a huge team. Not what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But like to me, it's small.
And you're one of the 24. That's crazy.
That
is a big honor, actually.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And so with a team like Team Athena, how many girls are there on that team?
I would say about maybe 30 to 35. Dang. Like actual, like the girls on the team that stay like season round.
Yeah.
But like we have add-ons. We call them walk-ons. So I was a walk-on this year because obviously I didn't audition to be on the team. So I walked on to like perform with them. Yeah. And then we added cats. So those are the girls in like the leotards or the unitards and the like cat makeup, and they're doing all like the turns and the tricks on stage. So I would say we came out to be like 60.
Dang, that's a big team right there.
So like doubled.
And the way that the choreography for Team Athena kind of works, from what I've found, is that they're like in sections.
Yes.
So like an inner team of the team will perform one section and then get off, and then the next team.
Yes.
Next team.
Yes.
And are there men on the team now?
No.
Okay, they're walk-ons?
He's more like, I would say familyed in. Not like family, blood family, but like we kind of like, he kind of helped with choreography and he assisted and really helped throughout the whole like process of like making the set. And so he's just welcome to do whatever he wants. But then, like
last year, y'all had people like Barney come in.
Yes.
And so, like...
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, like, that, we had a partner section specifically. So, I think my director just didn't want to have, like, boys this year.
Okay. Yeah. No boys allowed. Just like dorm hall.
It's almost like a statement, like, we don't need boys to win. Because for the past, I think, last year and the year before, which is Red Pants.
Yeah.
We had a boys section and we had a partner section. So it's kind of like, well, we can win without boys. Yeah. It's Team Athena.
You guys are the J. Cole of dance teams. It's like no features.
No features.
And so you guys are not going to go to compete in World of Dance, like the overall competition. Okay. And why is that, do you think?
Honestly, we really could, but it's just more of like getting everyone on the same page. Like now that we've been released into summer, it's like everyone's like booking their vacations and like, you know what I mean? So it's like, who's going to be on the same page, who's going to be available. You don't want to take people away from their families. So
and
it's
then
like,
money, hotel rooms, travel,
food. Like it's just so much that goes into it that you don't really like consider.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh yeah, we're just supposed to show up and compete, but like that's not really how it works.
Do you know if the top prize has a monetary?
Yes, I think it's, I might be wrong, but I think it's around $5,000. Crazy.
Per person?
Nope. Nice. That'd be nice. That'd be really nice. But yeah, no.
Okay. This episode of Open Invite was brought to you by North Texas Remodelings. Look, maybe your house looks like it got into a fight with a tornado and lost. Maybe your office walls are so bleak they've got you feeling a little sad. Well, guess what, chat? You don't have to live like that, okay? North Texas Remodeling. These are real men, real drywall enthusiasts. They specialize in painting, texture, sheetrock, and ceramic tiling. That's right, ceramic tile, not that cheap stuff you get from the corner at La Pulga, all right? Are you from the DFW? Good, because that's where they work. Give them a call, 214-758-9948 for a free estimate. That's right, free. Doesn't cost you a dime. You can give them a call just to hear another human voice if you want to. Maybe you're lonely. They don't judge, okay? North Texas Remodeling. They'll fix your floors, fix your walls, and maybe, just maybe, fix your life. Let's get back to the episode. Personally, I feel like with the amount of dedication that you guys put into this, amount of blood, sweat, and tears, that like there should be more.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like we shouldn't, like I was just talking to my director about this. I was like, I wish we had another round. Like I wish we could like, because usually if we get more rounds in, like obviously we're going to keep upping our like changing a few things, but just making things better. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's not the final product. You don't want things to be the final product. I wanted another round. Like that was such a cool piece. Like I loved that. I feel like that's one of my favorites so far that we've done. Yeah. Other than like the silver set, like that was really, really fun. Yeah.
Apart from everything, like your life is basically consumed by school and dance.
Yes.
Do you have room in there in your brain and your heart for like outside interests?
Not as much as I want.
What would you like to do?
I don't know what. I feel like I haven't really branched into that yet in my life, but I want to join more clubs. That's actually one of my bigger goals for like, I always set like goals every year going into like like my sophomore year, my junior year, like I always have like goals I set. And so one of them was just like branching out and trying to get into more like clubs and like meeting new people. And I think like organizations is fine, but it's just like I want to commit, but I can't because of my schedule. You know what I mean? So it's like it's really hard when Tiger Girls is literally my life. So
whenever you're like alone, no one's bugging you, you don't need to practice, like what is it that you're like looking up yourself? Like what kind of videos are you watching? What kind of stuff are you researching? I research all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't do that.
No?
No, I listen to music. I find music like my other hobby, like just listening to new music, but then it makes me want to dance. So then I end up dancing. Like I literally like end up going to the UREC and like going to like their studios that we have and just freestyling and just being in my own zone. Because I feel like that's where I can be at peace. You know what I mean? Like doing what I want to do and kind of being like free of movement. I'm not like restricted to do like what is required of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like we do game day. And then we do, of course, hip-hop. And then we do jazz. And it's like, yeah, I love those things. But it's like, I also want to do what I want to do. I want to do what makes my body feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that it doesn't make me feel good. It's just like you're doing those movements repeated over and over again.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm good at this now. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you're perfecting it every time you do it. And then it's like I need a break.
Yeah.
My brain needs a break and needs to just kind of do what it wants to do.
Very interesting. That's kind of why I stopped taking on like commission work for video stuff. Or stopped taking on like projects, or people would come, can you come film this event? I stopped doing it because I wanted to do something that was more for me.
Right.
Which is this podcast.
Right.
You know? And so
it's more fun that way.
It is. It's more rewarding. Like after a 12-hour editing session for somebody else, you're just beat.
Yeah.
But after your 12-hour editing session for you, it's like there's a video that you own at the end of it.
Right.
And so I feel like that's kind of the thing that you're relating to. It's like you want to just be able to move the way you want to move and not have someone choreograph your stuff. And then also the other thing that I'm seeing is that like you don't necessarily have time or energy for another hobby right now, but you use any time that you do have to decompress. Dang. And
like rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is very important, obviously. But like I definitely need my own time and space. So yeah.
Do you mind sharing what like your studies were like this year?
Yeah, sure.
What did you think of college?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not what I thought it would be. I actually didn't have any expectation going in. But definitely like Louisiana is its own kind of breed, if that makes sense. Like it's its own entire like
it's got its own culture.
Just like literally like it's just so different from like what I'm used to here. So it's very like everything's open, very free. I feel like if you want to go to class, you can go to class.
What?
Yeah.
Could you just like leave in the middle of class?
Yep.
So you had a lot of big lecture classes?
For the most part, yeah. I would say about my biggest class was probably like 300 people in it.
Okay. Those, I sit at the very back.
Yes.
And then,
like very top. Like, yes.
And then you pretend that you need to go to the restroom, but you never make it back.
Because it's like the teacher doesn't really care. Which I'm like, my high school teachers did warn me about that. It's like they really don't care. But like I did have to introduce myself though. Like, you know, like make it like hi. Like at least make them seem like interested in
you might need that social currency a little later.
Saying. So it's like, you know, might need an excuse to like not do something, and I just like
or add a day to your
exactly. The hardest part of it though was definitely juggling like time management with like practices and then outside of practices and then making sure I do my homework on time, but then you want to do it early, but then I have class, but then I need to eat. You know what I mean? It's like it's a lot to juggle. So I feel like at first I kind of struggled with it first semester, and then second semester became a little more easier.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, I had this one guy in one of my classes, because it's smaller classes, it's a lot harder to leave without being disrespectful.
Yes.
But I had this one guy in one of my classes who like almost every time he would kind of go back and go, all right, that's as much as I can handle, and then just leave. And I was like, dude, that's incredibly disrespectful.
That's crazy.
Did you have any people that were that blunt?
No, but I did have this weird kid. I think he was in a frat. And I think he was dared to do something.
Ooh.
And he basically made this whole scene in the class, like doing some weird, really cringe. And then he left. So it was very like, okay. And it was already like such a quiet class anyway.
Yeah.
My sweet teacher too. Like he was so precious. Like he just was like, okay guys, anyways. Like I was just like, oh.
Yeah, some people are actually there to learn.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
not about like just doing whatever you want the whole time. Like
Yeah.
I actually have to get a degree at the end of this. Like
This guy that I'm talking about, he was not looking for any clout. He was hanging on by a thread every time.
oh my gosh.
The class was pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what it is about lectures that you're more prone to sleep in lectures.
Yes.
It's like, dude, your eyes get heavy.
Yes.
Like, why can't this happen when I'm trying to go to sleep?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I think it's just the teacher and the monotone voice, and they're just rambling and rambling and rambling, and you're just like, I guess. Like,
Did you have a lot of teachers with like PowerPoints and stuff?
yeah, I didn't have one teacher that really was that engaging.
And what was your schedule kind of like? Did you have like some classes Tuesday, Thursdays, and some Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
Yes. So
You're a freshman, so you
yeah.
had like the what do you call it? The runt of the litter classes.
I did come in with some credits, so that kind of helped me.
Oh,
so I
nice.
actually jumped in to my major, which
That's
was
awesome.
Which was a little like, like, oh, I'm a big girl, like, dang, like I'm in the class with like sophomores and juniors, and I'm like,
Did you test out of Spanish?
yes, I did.
Wow. How many credits did you get?
I think I left with 2 credits.
Yeah, I had a feeling that your Spanish is pretty strong, so you'd be able to test out of that.
Thank you.
It's pretty strong in comparison to most people who weren't native.
I'm kind of sad because I lost it a little bit. So it's like my whole world really shift, like even like race wise. Like I'm like, oh, I'm not used to just going to school with like just black kids and just like white kids. And it's just like, well, now, not that I was like the minority in high school, but there was only like a few black kids.
But there was a very heavy minority, which was Hispanics.
Yeah.
And so you're used to seeing Hispanics all the time.
Everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Even the food. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No lemon. No lime anywhere.
That's funny.
So that's quite a big culture shift for you. And so like there's even a big culture shift with your generation. Like how things, I know that you don't see it because you only see it from the front end, but like I've been able to see kind of how the youth has been developing. Where do you feel like your generation right now is kind of like mentally when it comes to college? What do they think about it? What do you hear on the ground floor?
Wow. I was not expecting that.
Is that too strong of a question?
No, not at all. But I feel like I can't answer to the capacity because I feel like I know my feelings about that. But like, I really don't know like others. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like college is very like, like you don't have to go. Especially for me because I wasn't planning to do college at all. And I was just like, I really just want to move out to LA or like move out to somewhere where like there's an agency and like I can get booked, you know what I mean, and like train. So it's very like
you have a little bit more direction, a little bit more clarity than the average student might have.
Yeah. So I feel like for college is like everyone's like, oh, it's like a time to experiment, a time to have fun, like the best 4 years of your life. And I'm
like,
it
is so not that time.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, well, not really. You're going from being a baby or like a baby, but you just graduated high school. And then you think you're adult. And then you get to college and you're like, oh, I'm not. And you're actually the bottom of the litter. And then it's like now you're forced to do everything on your own. And it's very like, can I do this? So I feel like for people that's like either like a make or break kind of situation. And I feel like I kind of almost went towards that way because it was just very like overwhelming. And just like I didn't have like a community of people. I didn't have my parents, like especially my mom. Like I could call her, but she's not with me. You know what I mean? It's not the same. So it was very like shocking and very like, shoot, I kind of need to step it up. Like I need to take responsibility and literally take charge of my life now because it's up to me. You know what I mean? Like all the things I went through and experienced through high school, like growing up here, like all those lessons that I learned is now transferring over to what is it's like my pre-adult life, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. So it's like now I have to like grow up.
And a lot of
essentially.
students, what they kind of see, they see it as a time to like, okay, let me do my minimum requirements and then have as much fun as I can.
Right.
But really, this is kind of the time where it's like you can set yourself up for success.
Right.
You have as much time as you can have in that 4 years to set yourself up for success, or you can really take a downturn, take on some debt,
yes,
and have nothing to show for it.
Right. People think when you graduate college, it's like, well, I have to be an adult now, like I'm on my own. But essentially, like, you're not, you know what I mean? Like, you could literally set yourself up now so that it doesn't feel that way, you know what I mean? Because it's like you have still support, but it's just less of it. So it's like you don't have that safety net to really catch you.
Yeah.
Especially after you graduate college, because you're on your own. You're what, like 22, 23? So it's like...
Dude, the day that I had to leave my dorm after graduation had already happened and I was an RA, like I told you, I was moving out to go back home. That day or that night before, I had the craziest panic attack because I was like,
it's over.
It's over. It's done. Welcome to the real world for real.
Yeah.
Over.
Literally. Like, you will never be a part of anything like that ever again. Like, even myself, I'm like imagining what I would be doing or what it would be like to just officially just be by myself and like no school, like just straight responsibilities. Oh, I have to find a job. And I'm like, oh, well, that's not fun. Let me actually do my work. Let me actually study for my exam. Like, it's serious. So
once you realize that a career is way better than a job,
right,
you start to take things a little bit
seriously,
a little bit more seriously.
Yeah, especially because of the career path I want to go into is like being a professional dancer. Like, nothing's really guaranteed, so it's kind of like I have to. So thankful for my mom. She said, obviously, go get a degree, get your bachelor's at least, so that you can have some sort of foundation for yourself, so that you can fall back on and say that like, I don't get booked for like my first year out there. Like, like some people aren't that lucky, you know what I mean? So it's like,
which, don't get me wrong, I think you're going to get booked. Anywhere you go, I think you're going to get booked.
Thank you. But I just feel like
it's not guaranteed.
Right. So it's like, you kind of just have to like be prepared to like have a stable something in your life so that you're making an income, especially in a world like now. Like, prices are up, especially in LA. Like, it's expensive.
I really hope you reconsider that.
I don't want to live there, but it's where everything is. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't have a choice. Like, I truly don't have a choice. But I am.
What if you build your own brand out here and you bring the world to you?
Right.
It's possible.
It is possible. It is possible. That is so true.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wherever there is a scene for a specific industry, or
like, you'll always go there. No matter what, you'll always end up in LA. Like, that's where everything is. So, or like centered. But I have a few alumni that are already out there. An old teammate that already moved out there, she's booked. She's already done Coachella with Doja Cat. She's already done like BET Awards with, I think, Doechii. But yeah, so like I have like people like my friend like that who's already moved out to LA, and then I think my director's thinking about moving out there too, because I mean that's where the scene is. So it's just like, well, by the time I graduate college, well, they're already going to be somewhat out there already. So it's kind of like, well, maybe let me just hop in. You know what I mean?
I have an incredibly serious question for you.
Okay.
This might be too heavy of a question to ask.
Okay.
But I'm going to do it anyways. Okay. I know I'm building up the suspense. You're probably getting nervous.
Yeah.
When it comes to combat sports, your body is it's your tool. What kinds of things are you doing to make sure that you can completely avoid injuries? I know you can't completely avoid, but what precautions are you taking to make sure that your body, your legs, your knees, your ankles, you don't roll your ankles?
Right.
It's incredibly important. We're talking about, this is why your mom said that you should get a degree, because there is always that possibility, you know, that someone stumbles and falls.
That's what I'm saying.
Back on you. You hyperextend your knee, you're out for this much time.
Yeah.
And if that happens on tour or something like that, it's like, that's done. You're done.
Yeah.
For a while, at least.
Yeah.
And then you could be like Derrick Rose in the NBA, and it's like, you never were the same. That's possible. Do you see how heavy this question is?
That is really heavy.
Do you look at it like that? It's like, my body is my temple.
Yes. My instrument. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Tiger Girl supplies we have a physical trainer, and then we have a recovery center for all athletes. And so that's really nice. So it's definitely mandatory to, like, you know, take an ice bath or, like, get treated. And so
you take ice baths?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you like those?
Those are nice. Those are fun. Yeah, they really do help, especially after, like, a full day of rehearsal and, like, just practicing for, like, a long time. Like, you definitely need to rest your body and definitely take care of it, because it's like you don't want to keep straining it and straining it and straining it because you're dancing back to back to back every day.
Yeah.
So it's like you need to take care of your body, especially
it's what elite athletes do.
So it's really nice because we get cupping, which, like, if you were to do that like anywhere else, it's like thousands of
They're
dollars.
providing all this for you?
Yes, for free. We literally walk in and our physical trainer is there and he takes care of us.
That is so cool.
We get scraping, which is like just like if you know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really nice. I really like
working
that.
Working out your knots, all that stuff.
All of it.
I'm super glad to know that they pay attention, or that they have those resources for y'all to actually get your body back to 100, because that's exactly, like, I have tons of friends who are professional fighters, and I know how bad you know, a lower back injury can just completely halt everything. You can spiral into depression.
Right.
You know, like, even just like a strained wrist or something like that is just incredibly detrimental. And so I'm glad to know that these resources exist for you guys to be able to be at 100 or as close to 100. No one ever is.
Right.
Have you ever had to perform while you were, like, a little injured?
No, never. I've always done I've never been completely injured before. I have, like, tweaked something or where something's just really uncomfortable, but I don't think I've ever, like, I've always grown up like, it's fine, like, it's fine, like, don't worry about it, like, just sleep it off, like, you just need rest. Like, I feel like that's, like, the most important thing, especially in recovery, is just resting. So I've never really been injured like that. So
do you go to sleep easily because you get tired from, like, a long days of rehearsals and stuff like that?
If I take a nap any time of the day, I'm out for like 5 hours. No joke. The nap takes me. Like, I cannot take naps.
Is that a Sisi original? That's good.
No, I don't know. It's not original.
Someone probably said it on Reddit somewhere.
It's I heard it somewhere. So.
Yeah, that's a good one. But you are able to get as much rest as you need?
Yes, for sure.
Dang.
For sure.
Must be nice. Just play.
I know, nowadays I kind of just wake up wherever I want. So it's like, well.
One thing that I wanted to kind of touch on is I feel like dance is one of those arts that is not given its credit, because the high end of what you can do is be a backup. And it's like, you know, we dance for Beyonce. Like, that's crazy. Like, if you do that, you dance for Michael Jackson or whoever. Like, that is the peak of the monetary art form, unless you do something like Jabberwockies,
right,
or like Brian Puspos, or some dancer who creates a brand for himself. Have you kind of, like, looked into that and started to think about, okay, am I going to be somebody's backup, or am I going to make something for myself? I know it's heavy.
I feel like because dancers don't get recognized as much, or, like, aren't the star of something, I feel like nowadays, like, for example, like, I don't know if you've seen, like, Tate McRae.
I've heard the name.
She's, like, a singer, pop star, like, pop music kind of, and then basically, like, she is or was a dancer. Like, she was on So You Think You Can Dance.
Okay.
Like, when she was little, like, she was trained as a dancer, like, in her past, but that's not the point. The point is that her dancers, like, get, like, their own kind of moment. Not that I'm saying every artist does that, but I feel like
because she came from that background,
it allows dancers,
it's like,
to be the highlight.
being able to tip at a restaurant because you used to be a server, and so you know what it's like.
Right, exactly. Me personally, my stardom comes from the dance community. I feel like I want to be known in the dance community. I don't really care much about everyone in the whole world knowing who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to create a Charli D'Amelio situation.
Right, exactly. Like,
where you get your fame there, but then you expand outward
and
and leave the dance behind, basically.
Right.
Or if you do bring it back up, it's like to try to reclaim a little bit of
Right,
that original talent.
I feel like being popular in that community, like that's what I want to do. Like just like be known. Oh yeah, she's gonna book this job. Oh yeah, of course she's gonna book this job. Like, you know, like be that kind of girl, like that. Just like instead of like having to audition, I want to get to the point where like they just call my agent and be like, can we just get Sisi to come and do this shoot real quick, or can we?
You want to skip auditions?
Like, I just want to be that girl that you can always just like call. You know what I mean?
The reason that I ask this is because I don't think it's a secret that you're exceptional and that you have incredible marketability. And I do think that you could transcend the dance world. I do think that. I've always thought about it. That's why I started filming that documentary. I still have all the footage for your documentary.
Really?
I have it all.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You are essentially my Kanye, and I'm that one guy that was filming the documentary. So one day we're going to create the Genius documentary. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
One day.
One day.
But I do think you could transcend the dance world. And I get this a lot when people tell me, it's like, you could be doing so much with your film. And I'm just like, leave me alone. I don't want to do all of that you're proposing. And so I feel like that's kind of where you're at as well. It's like, I just want to focus on having fun with dance.
Like one thing at a time. Like, I guess doing it for myself first before I get into a world where it's been like dance or die kind of way, if you know what I mean. Like,
I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Can you expand?
Yeah. So basically, like, what I'm trying to say is like, in the LA world, like, it's literally like you have it or you don't. Oh my gosh, I keep hitting this.
It's totally fine.
You either have it or you don't. And so it's like the cutthroat version of dance. It's not essentially going to be fun anymore. You're doing it so you can get paid. Like, it's you're working and you're working. And sometimes working a lot and overdoing it for yourself and going out of your way to do things so to ensure that you could get something, but you ended up not getting it. Like, it's heartbreaking, and it kind of tears, like, a lot of those like scars and tears from that, like an emotional damage essentially, and physical damage maybe. Like, that could really change your mindset completely. And so I just want to do it for me first, and, you know, like, love it the way I do, because I see what it could do to people, you know what I mean? And then people like would go out there and then quit after that and say it's like, oh yes, like a burnout, like it's not for me anymore, like, oh, I didn't love dance as I used to love it.
Or even people who get jaded.
What's that? When
When someone is jaded, that means that they have become extremely cynical about whatever the given thing is. Like, if you're an educator and you've been in it for so long and you've seen all of the toxicity that comes with being that, eventually you're like, I don't believe in it anymore. I don't believe in the goodness of it. Or like, if you're a jaded dancer, it's like, I've been to the top. I hate the people who are up there. I know that like the end goal here is like not what's up. And so you completely avoid it now.
I don't want to get there. I don't want to be a jaded dancer. So
luckily for you and your personality and your bubbliness, I feel like you're that type of person who I feel like we're very similar in that sense, where it's like we're always just kind of happy.
Happy to be there.
When I was in RA, a lot of my residents would stop me in the middle of the hallways and they're like, hey, are you high right now? And I'd be like, what, dude? No, I'm not high. I don't smoke. And they're like, come on. And it's like, no, dude, I'm high on life, dude.
Right. Exactly. I feel like that's so college. Like, everyone's smoking. That's the reality. Vaping now. I think everyone needs to get drunk in order to have fun. I'm like, guys, like, let's just be ourselves and just
Dude, I've talked to people about this. I'm just like, that's weird, because I feel like I don't need that.
Yeah, at all.
I feel like I could make a fun time out of anything. Fun time out of work, out of being on a shoot, out of like overworking, whatever it is. You could just make a fun time of it.
Yeah.
And it's really sad that like
that people need that stuff, and then you become addicted to it. So it's like,
yeah, but here's the problem, is that it used to be that the people who were jaded in life would resort to that to cope with the pain. And now it's the youth who is starting it at a young age because of its cool factor or whatever, because of its public marketing, let's say. And so like people are starting it before they quote unquote need it, before they need a coping mechanism. And now they're addicted to it. And now your lungs are messed up. And now your liver's messed up. And, you know, whatever your vice is, it's like, it's going to lead to your downfall for sure.
Right.
And so it's terrifying to know that the youth has just kind of fallen into this unavoidable spiral.
Yeah.
Once you start, you know.
Yeah. I'm also grateful to be a part of a team in college that is so like very heavy to like our culture and our standards and like who we are as people and like to be a good person, you know what I mean? And so especially when I'm out and about, especially with like friends who are not my teammates, it's like being around that, like I have more self-respect to like I'm okay. Like I don't need that. They're like, you want to try it? I'm like, no. Like
you have boundaries.
Yes, exactly. Like the temptation is not there for me. Like I don't like.
Oh, thank God.
There's no.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, no.
Because some people, the temptation is too strong.
Right. Exactly. Like, and I have been in a point where I've been like almost peer pressured, but like never to the point where I'm like, okay, like I've been like, no, like actually no, like for you to keep doing that and keep like insinuating that you need me to do it in order to have fun, like no, I don't. So I'm just gonna remove myself. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't want to be a part of anything like that. I like the way you framed that. Like that far. So
instead of saying something along the lines of like cut these people off.
Yeah. Just remove myself. Because they're good people. They really are. Like obviously we're friends, but you do it and I don't want to be around that, especially if like I have to do it to be around you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like in order for you to have fun, I also have to do it. Like that makes no sense. So yeah. Definitely learned that in college.
Thank goodness.
For sure.
We haven't talked in a long time, and so I was a little worried about you going off to college and seeing how you came back. We did it, guys. Sisi came back. She's good. She's good.
I'm good.
Anything that you want to say to the people? Anything you got coming up?
No, it's okay. No, it's okay.
She's super shy, y'all. Her @ is Sianna Nicole. And then follow LSU Tiger Girls and follow Team Athena.
Yes.
Please like and subscribe and ring that notification bell. Again, this episode is sponsored by North Texas Remodeling. We appreciate you for watching. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one.
Hey, we did it! That's fun.